Hey guys, so today what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be finding all six trig functions, either using the unit circle or a point on the circle. So what we're going to do first is that we're going to start with a point on the circle. As we can see, the point is -4, 3. So the first step to solve a problem like this is that you are just going to create a right triangle. I usually like to make it with the x-axis. You can make it with the y-axis, it does not matter. So since our x-coordinate is -4, that means this side over here is going to be -4. Now, if we want to find this side over here, since our y value is 3, that means it is going to be 3. In order to find your six trig functions, you must find all sides. However, we only have two sides, so we need to find the third side. But we made a right triangle, which means that we can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Remember, your c must always be your hypotenuse. Since we're trying to find our hypotenuse in this problem, we have 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to x squared. So we get 9 plus 16 is equal to x squared. 25 is equal to x squared. And then if we square root both sides, you end up getting 5 is equal to x. So now we have our triangle. So what we're going to do now, since our angle is coming from the center, this is going to be my angle that I'm going to be using this triangle. And now we're just going to label. So the one that's opposite our right angle is our H. The one opposite our angle is our O. And the one right next to it is our A. And now we're just going to be using SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. So now that we can use SOHCAHTOA, so our sine of theta is going to be 3/5. Our cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent is -4, so it'll be -4/5. My tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, so it would be 3/-4. And then as we discussed earlier in our earlier homework, all we need to do to find the other ones is just take the reciprocals. So the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. So cosecant theta, taking the reciprocal, will be 5/3. Secant theta is the reciprocal of cosine, so just flip it, -5/4. And then cotangent theta is the reciprocal of tan, so it'll be -4/3. So those are how you get the six trig functions. So now let's look at our unit circle. So something you guys need to know about a unit circle. So this is our unit circle. In a unit circle, we already know these 4 points. This point here is going to be 1, 0. This point here is 0, 1. This point here is -1, 0. And this point here is 0, -1. So unit circle has a radius of 1 automatically. That's why it's called a unit circle. So we're also going to be using this information that I provided you guys on your homework to answer the question. So it says, use the unit circle to evaluate the 6 trig functions of 270 degrees. 270 degrees goes up to right here. So that means we are going to be using the point 0, -1. This is my x, this is my y. As we discussed before, the radius is also going to be 1. We also know that because it's a unit circle. So now we could just use all this information and get our answers. So sine of theta is going to be y/r. My y is -1 over r, which is 1. So this is equal to -1. Cosine of theta is equal to x/r. So I got 0/1, which is equal to 0. Then I have tangent of theta is equal to y/x. So my y is -1, my x is 0. You can't have a denominator 0, so this is going to be undefined. And now we just do the same thing. We can either follow this trick or we could do the reciprocals just like we did on the other problem. So cosecant is going to be 1/-1, which also equals -1. secant theta is going to be 1 over 0, which is undefined. And then lastly, cotangent is going to be 0 over -1, which equals 0. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.